Greetings from India to all of you. And at the outset, I would like to convey my hearty congratulations on the occasion of the first Qatar Economic Forum. It's a symbol of hope and reassurance that the world is slowly coming out of the most difficult and challenging times created by the corona pandemic.
Mr. Ambani, on that note, I'm wondering, what do you think will be the legacy of this pandemic in terms of global commerce? Has it fundamentally changed the way business is done?
Well, I think that COVID is a once-in-a-century humanitarian crisis. The world was not prepared for it. The crisis tested the resilience of mankind. The world has suffered, but ultimately what will triumph is not the virus, but the human spirit. We have seen unprecedented global solidarity. The unthinkable has become possible. No one could have imagined that the world would produce a vaccine in less than a year and vaccinate the whole world in a couple of years. So I think that as humanity in both trade, commerce, and global economics, we have a lot to learn, and more of the unthinkable is going to be possible, right? Even if you take Qatar's example, right? We in India will never forget the Qatar's friendship during this crisis, right? Where it moved much beyond commerce, where they even used all their passenger aircrafts to get medicine and supplies to India in time. And what this has shown is that Qatar may be a small nation in size, but it has a very big heart. And I think that trade along with purpose and compassion is the way forward. And that is going to get all of us as humanity together to integrate and make sure that collectively we actually deal with global problems as one and help each other moving forward. So to my mind, this for the global economy is a fork in the road and gives us an opportunity that together we can achieve a lot more.
Given that optimism, though, there are challenges. What do you view as the biggest challenges for industry chiefs at this point in time as we emerge from this pandemic?
Well, I think that the challenges first are really to make sure that we get rid of the vaccination divide, right? It is critical that bulk of the developed world, right, will be vaccinated by the end of the year. I think we in India have taken many steps, but and we expect that by the end of this year, first quarter of next year, we would do very well. But it's the whole humanity that we have to make sure that we are all in it together. The second challenge for all of us is to make sure that we bring back the economies, particularly in the more developed countries, right, which have not had the benefit of stimulus, which have not had the benefit of government money, by really supporting the whole global economy to come back and to grow so that we are able to grow the whole world in a sustainable way and not only bring back the developed economies. And towards that, all of us in industry, governments, and civil society will have to work as a coalition, not only for our own company, not only for our own country, but for the global economy collectively.
The pandemic has shown how critical it is to close that digital divide. Do you see digital services, technology for that matter, bridging the inequality gap? What's India's own experience in trying to close that gap? What are some of the key takeaways there?
Well, I think the digital divide must be bridged, both among nations and within nations. This is because connectivity and communications have become the basic needs and also fundamental rights of every human being on the planet, as basic as food, clothing, and shelter. We never realized this as acutely as we did in the corona pandemic. Even in India, our Prime Minister had given a call for Digital India, and I was privileged with our digital services company called Jio to roll out a 4G network. And we were lucky that we rolled out the network across the length and breadth of India by 2018. We have always wondered that what would we have done without a 4G network across India in facing the corona crisis. So yes, the digital infrastructure was very useful in work to home, in vaccinating all our people, in making sure that our children learned at home and learned online. And I think that this trend of digital physical, right, will be the new normal. And into the future, we will deliver, right, most of our health, education, services also in a digital physical sense. So to my mind, it's an absolute must for all economies to integrate and enhance this digital infrastructure, which has been so very useful in the corona crisis.
You talked about how Jio has helped to bridge that inequality gap. How else do you see your company being able to address the issue of inequality?
Well, I think that if we see, I would like to begin that by again learning from Qatar, right? What His Highness Tamim bin Hamid Al Thani has done is he has used the hydrocarbon wealth, right, with his vision to have Qatar as an advanced society with strong economic and social foundations. The investments in education and healthcare offer the people of Qatar, right, the most advanced infrastructure and opportunity to grow. I think that across the world and in India, we must invest in education so that there is equal opportunity for everybody. And healthcare, what this crisis has taught us is we need to urgently upgrade the healthcare infrastructure across the world to make sure that we are ready for any future crisis, because I believe that this pandemic will not be the last health crisis that humanity has seen. And it is important that we within industry, again, within governments, all work together to make sure that the opportunity that we have to really work towards giving equal opportunity and reduce inequality across all sections of our world.
Mr. Ambani, the pandemic has also highlighted the issue of sustainability. Businesses are now increasingly under pressure to commit to sustainability. How do you view that as a business leader?
My view is that we have no option as a society, as business, to really adopt a sustainable business model to ensure that we embrace the model of clean energy is a prerequisite for our growth. And we at Reliance have adopted this wholeheartedly and are transforming each one of our business lines to be sustainable, circular, recyclable, and with fully transparent environment, social, and governance standards. And I think that's a prerequisite for every business to survive as we go forward.
Would that mean perhaps dialing back some of your businesses right now? Is that something that needs to be thought of?
It'll mean transforming our businesses and integrating that with the future.
Mr. Ambani, many people may not know that you have a special link to the Middle East. You were born in Yemen when your father was working there before moving back to India. Talk to us about this connection to the Middle East and how you see it in the context of business.
Well, I think that I was born in Yemen because my father went as a young Indian to Yemen, and he always says I have Arabic blood, which I think that we value the relationships between all the Arabic countries and India. It is a centuries-old relationship. I think that a lot of Indian population is there in Qatar, and while Qatar has lots of populations, like we have about 700,000 Indians, and each one of them is a spokesperson for Qatar in India. I also think that within my own family, right, I've had the privilege of working with Sheikh Hamouza at the United Nations Millennium Development Goals Group. But my wife is a big fan of her achievements in sports and culture. And my daughter is a big fan of everything that the foundation has achieved in art. So as a family, we have great admiration for what the Qatar Foundation and the Qatari royal family has really achieved for the people of Qatar. And I only hope that we can learn, be inspired, and build a very strong relationship between India and Qatar.
Mr. Ambani, we thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you so very much.